I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I want to win. I was brought here and misled when you brought me here to be, a piece of a puzzle, a significant piece to the puzzle, and it didn't materialize at all because they didn't have an adequate team around them. I think George Pickens is the same guy. Listen, I don't know. I think the bigger question is with the Lions organization is, when do you pull a trigger on a guy like this? I mean, okay, we into week 1. We haven't played a game yet. We know that let me just look at the first 2 games. And then Lamar, you probably can chime in too. I mean, look at the first 2 games we just watched. Dude, you got to have elite quarterback play in this league now. I totally believe that. And I think Pickens would be a guy, the Lions could absolutely like a Rasheed Wallace type trade where you put this guy in our offense and he immediately, could be even more deadlier or put us over the top, however you want to say it. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to get this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because people become available real quick in the NFL, man. You know what I'm saying? Within a week, this guy's available. So, for me, yeah, it's worth looking into. Hell yeah.
Look,
I mean,
let me tell you.
Go
Let
ahead.
me tell you. George Pickens was my second receiver in that draft. It was for me. That's what I wanted. I wanted 2 different guys. 2 of the same version. I thought Chris Watson, or not Chris Watson. What's his name? Watson from Green Bay.
Kristen Watson.
Kristen Watson. I thought he was the most talented guy. I thought George was the most grittiest guy. This is my third guy, and I'm gonna get into him later. I thought Pierce from Indianapolis was my most
Cincinnati. Yeah.
I was Pierce from
University of Cincinnati, yeah.
Who later went on to Indy. I thought he was my most polished guy, right? If I have a chance at George Pickens, I'm not only getting a guy who can block. I'm not only getting a guy that has wiggle and shake. I'm also getting a guy who loves the game and is way more passionate than needs to be at certain times. I'm sure y'all all seen the clip of him mossing somebody and then throwing the football at him back when he was at Georgia or against Georgia. This guy, if we can get him, let me tell you, man, because he's not going to be happy. Because whatever going on in Pittsburgh, man, it's going to make heads roll. Maybe not head coaching roles. I wish the head coach would leave, but just so they could just fall off the cliff, not for anything else. But I'm telling you, George Pickens, man, we got to sit in the house. And that's what Bad Brad is not going to do. You know that he might go to Denver. They might even trade him to Green Bay before they trade him here because Brad is just like so stuck in his ways of drafting for the future or whatever he be talking about.
You don't think he'll surprise us one day?
He surprised me. He did. He traded for a guy that didn't even make the team.
Well, listen, man, I'm gonna say this about. I just want to say this about George Pickens, man. I think Pickens is a slight bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's not so much of the off the field stuff. Now, what I will say about George overall, his personality and the flower pot that he was groomed in Georgia doesn't equate. Like a lot of those dudes, well, we understand Georgia has some problems when it comes to maintaining that football program off the field. And people are starting to really speak up on that now as far as a lot of the DUIs and trouble with the law a lot of these players have gotten to at Georgia, and Kirby Smart has fell under the umbrella of that. But I think it's taken a small amount of time to break some of that out of George being in Pittsburgh. I personally don't think George is a bad guy. Whenever I see George Pickens and there's always some ruckus about him, it's what Lamar just said. He out there, him and Joey Porter are perfect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because all they do is fight at practice consistently. And in the pre-show, I was talking to Ashanti about this. I made the sparring comparison in boxing. Like, you don't want soft sparring. You want competitive, hard sparring that gets you prepared for that fight that you got on Saturday night. And I like when I watch George, I just see a very competitive guy that wants to play. He wants to win. He wants to contribute. That's
Mhm.
any star wide receiver. They all want to contribute. They all want to win. They all want to get out there and see everybody have success. But like you said, George can block. George forces you at 6'3", 200 pounds with 4.4 speed and an outstanding catch radius to force defenses to cover every single blade of grass. There's certain ways you can cover St. Brown to stop what he does well. Until Jameson proves it on the field, there's going to be ways to stop a speed guy that hasn't
Mhm.
proven he can do everything that's required to really be successful at wide receiver. There's no stopping George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
And what made me think about this was Steve Smith during his podcast during the draft process this past April. He brought up Marvin Harrison Jr. and how he felt Marvin Harrison Jr. was a perfect marriage for us because Marvin Harrison Jr. would provide for us a whole lot of those things that we lacked. We had strength in numbers, but he felt the same way about Marvin Harrison Jr. that we're talking about George Pickens right now. Pickens forces you to defend every blade of grass because he can run every route in the book. He's
Mhm.
successful at it. And even though he may not consistently separate against certain speed corners,
Mhm.
certain athletic corners, the catch radius is always there. He catches everything that you throw his way for the most part. Because if we look at like the regular, what's considered a good catch radius, catch percentage for wide receivers, you talking about between 61 63%. He was 61%, I believe, his rookie year. Last season, he still, with terrible quarterback play, managed to get right under 60% at 59%.
Mhm.
So he's one of those rare wide receivers that's going to put up numbers. He's going to make your quarterback look a lot better. He's going to extend drives because you can count on him on third down. He does everything well. And I just think that when you look at this wide receiver room right now, what we have to be honest about it. There's nothing to be concerned about if you're a defense after Jameson Williams. And like I said, Jameson still has to get out there on the field and prove it too, because he hasn't proven yet. But we all three of us on this show believe he will prove it.
Mhm.
St. Brown, as tough as he is, he still has a lack of size, and St. Brown still gets nicked up. So we have questions out there in the wide receiver room that should be honestly addressed. I just feel that if you look at the contract also, they got 2 more years under him. Well, he has 2 more years under them.
Mm.
If things don't work out in Pittsburgh this season, because Justin ain't gonna be able to get on the ball. I have no confidence Justin Fields will be able to get on the ball. Russ is still decent enough to feed a guy like George Pickens, but has the boat kind of sailed on his happiness in Pittsburgh right now because things have been kind of ugly the first couple seasons, quarterback play wise.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. Like I said, I said in the pre-show. I mean, we are talking Lions Avenue, George Pickens. I
Mhm.
believe this guy gonna become available, man. I just see him blowing up. I see because he's so
Yeah.
passionate.
And they
You know
just
what I'm saying?
extended.
And
But
he
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, no. I was just gonna say, Lamar. I was just gonna say, I I just see how passionate he is. I think he gonna kill that he gonna want to kill somebody, man. If they don't give him the ball, that type of thing. He ain't got a guy that's gonna just sit on the bench and not say anything and just be, good for the cameras and appease the organization. I don't think so. I'm not with this guy. I'm telling you. After
Mhm.
it may not be early October, whenever the trade deadline is. Sorry, I don't have that date in front of me, but I don't know. It's a situation to watch. Let's just say the Lions go out and which I don't think is going to happen. I think they are going to beat the Rams. But let's just say if we lose a couple, right, in the next 8 weeks, let's just say we lose a couple, and it's a glaring need at receiver. I do think that this team would be in their
Mhm.
best interest to take a look at George Pickens. You know what I'm saying? Now, like Lamar said, and I think he's spot on about Brad Holmes being the guy that actually pulled the trigger. You know what I'm saying? I could see a team that don't even really need a receiver just so we don't get them, like, let's just say like the 49ers or
The Philadelphia
Dallas or
Eagles.
Philly. Yeah, will pull the trigger and get this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because the rich always get richer in the NFL. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? Or Chicago or Minnesota, something stupid like that. You know what I mean? To bring in George Pickens. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Lamar, and I think that's the number one question, the elephant in the room. is I don't know if this organization is ready to make a move like that. Now, I think we
Yeah.
all agree that it would be, the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
it's glaring. It's like that's what you should do. But I don't know, man. I think they're so big on their guys. I don't even know if he's even a consideration. But like I said, after 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks of losing, 6 weeks of not getting the ball or being an afterthought, people become available, man, real quick. The bigger question is, I don't know how much draft capital we have. I thought we traded a lot this past draft, just trading up to get Vaki, trading up to get Giovanni Manu. You know what I'm saying? I thought we already traded like a third round pick to begin with. I think I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I would do it, but I don't know if the resources are there or management even
Take a
thinks of
look.
him like that. You know what I'm saying? We all
Yeah.
do, but
Yeah.
that's a different story.
I just want to say they extended Pat Fryermuth, and he's done nothing. And I thought real highly of Pat Fryermuth,
Yeah, me too.
and he's
But
done
is it the
nothing. But
quarterback play?
I
Like
think,
when I see
yeah,
Pittsburgh, Pat makes some plays.
Yeah.
So how much of it really is the Kenny Pickett trade, not trade, but the Kenny Pickett draft pick and Trubisky being there for a second, and just things haven't been good there
it
at the
Mhm.
does.
quarterback position.
So yeah, you can't just make a bad quarterback good because he got weapons all around him. That experiment is done. It was done with Sam Darnold. Was in Carolina. It was done with Sam Darnold. Was with the Jets. It was done with this quarterback. It was done just like you had Trubisky with the Bears. Like you can only get so much. Like just saying the quarterback needs weapons and all this other stuff. Like no, bro. The dude from the Jets, like Zach Wilson. There's so many quarterbacks that just can't deliver. Because Pat Fryermuth should be an 800 a year receiver at tight end position. The way they be spreading the ball out, and the dude they drafted last year, not last year, but the year before last,
Mhm.
is just Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pick six. My bad. Yeah, it's just terrible, man. I just feel for the organization because this goes on Tomlin's permanent record, not theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
I
Now
want to
tell
I
me
want to
this.
bring up something real quick. 1 second, Shanti. So
Okay.
y'all want to know about the draft picks for next season. So we got a
Yeah.
first, we got a second. That third round pick was traded to the Jets, of course, the draft Giovanni Manu. We do have a fourth. We got a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. So we do have some trade
Okay. Okay.
assets next season.
More than
I
we
don't
thought.
think it'll take a first. He was the second round pick, 52nd overall. They won't take a first to get him.
Okay, you're
It
right
probably
about
won't
that.
take a second either.
Oh
So
Yeah.
wow. We got to get that third
Yeah, right.
at the
Yeah, because
most.
that would be the one. That would be the one that you would want to give up to get George Pickens. That's good, Walt. I'm glad you put it up. So now I got a little bit more hope. I think it could happen. You know what I'm saying? I think is he worth us? I'm scared of second round picks, man. I mean, I'm scared to trade that away. That's a long wait. If
for
you
this team though, with how they're
get
already currently built, is he
there.
worth a third?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there you go. And I'm glad you just said that. And I was like, it's not like we need 10 players in the draft anymore. You know what I'm saying? We said it all last draft, 4 or 5 dogs, and you good. So yeah, I think George Pickens can be had. I really do. And then look at this, y'all. We talked about this, Walt. Our depth chart for tomorrow night's game. I mean, literally, we got St. Brown, Jameson, and Isaiah Williams. You know what I'm saying? Khalif Raymond as a fourth receiver. God
Mm-hmm.
forbid somebody gets hurt, bro. And then now you in a desperate state. And then I think they would pull a trigger, but I'm not expecting much from Tim Patrick. I'm not expecting much from Allen Robinson at all. So I figure I'm looking at we got 3 guys on our roster plus Khalif Raymond. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Gibbs and Laporta support the pass game as well, but and Brock Wright at times. But yeah, I mean, man, this is a real. I just say this, everybody that's listening, us put an asterisk by George Pickens, and I'm glad, me and Walt was able to think about like excuse me, who could be available, and we instantly thought of him. I did because I'm just looking at the situation. um a guy like Stephon Diggs, I think he went to Houston, and it's kind of like, bro, they kind of don't ain't gotta have to rely on you like that. You know what I'm saying? Which may be a good situation for him, but I don't know how much of a
He may be the third option in Houston.
yeah. Is
Because
he good with that?
Nico's emerged.
Yeah. Is
Mhm.
Tank
Stephon
Dell
Diggs?
always open. Tank
Such a
Yeah.
Dell
good
is
point.
a touchdown waiting to happen.
Such a good point. Yeah.
Yep. Well, what is he gonna do? I mean, is Stephon Diggs, is he gonna say, you know what, I don't like this because I ain't the guy, you know what I'm saying? So uh what's the other guy I was thinking of Tennessee, Walt
Oh, Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks. Now he ain't done squat since he been drafted out of
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
But that might be another guy that they might try a reclamation project like that. You know what I'm saying? Them the kind of guys that we take like that. You know what I'm saying? To try to
You
build
are
them up.
100% correct.
You know what I'm saying? So
That is like they'll go after the what's the dude
Yeah.
from Denzel Mims from the Jets.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, from the
they
Jets.
go for the fixer upper. They go for
Mhm.
the $10,000 house over on Mac. I'm gonna
Yep.
get this. I'm gonna put a little bit of paint in here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it an opportunity. This house got grit.
Yeah, because it's like, and then like guys like Michael, I thought for damn sure we was gonna get Michael Thomas. I'm just like, dude, Michael Thomas is definitely a guy they would try to bring
Yeah,
in. Hasn't
Campbell had him in
played.
New Orleans.
You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But Michael Thomas must really be like
A bad
difficult.
guy or something.
Yeah, difficult to deal with because ain't nobody even looked at him, man. So you
Yeah.
wonder what's going on there.
I seen
So
a post. I seen a meme. He stubbed his toe 3 years ago, and he hasn't been able to play for since then. And then they said Ricky Pearsall, an American hero, got shot last week. He trying to play a game this week.
trying to play.
I'm like, oh
Yeah,
snap.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, man, you got to be a different, and like you and Lamar, y'all have said this from the start, and I respect y'all for that. Like the players that's needed for this team. Sometimes you gotta take, like you said, well, sometimes you gotta take a chance, man. Sometimes you gotta say, you know what, this ain't. I think people worry about Titus Young and Ryan Broyles and all the players that didn't work, right? And they just say, well, that didn't work. We shouldn't even never go down that road again. Or if a guy cussed out the coach, then we can't draft him. I mean, or bring him into our organization. I don't think that's true. I think right now the Lions are a team where now you need that one guy. That's it to kind of put you over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're good enough right now where you don't have to tolerate any bull crap from nobody, but to get that extra talented. The guy might be a diva. He might be hard to deal with. He might be like an Odell Beckham type where no one can talk to him. You know what I'm saying? He just let him go out on the field and do what he does, and everything will take care of itself. I think we're at that mode now. Like you said, well, we got enough guys that are good
This team
guys.
is established. Upper
There we go.
stairs
Yeah,
on the field.
yeah.
The coaching staff. But I will say this: I think they know everything they need to know about George Pickens because they've been all through that Georgia program. They went down there to check out Jalen Carter a couple times, speak to some of the coaches on the staff there, former players, and Brad Holmes walked away from it saying, "We heard some interesting things." Like so, I don't know how to take that, but like I said, I don't know. Like, have they drafted any Georgia players?
Other than DeAndre Swift,
No, I'm talking about
uh,
this regime.
district, no, not that. I'm just trying to think on the top of my head. Yeah, no
Yeah.
linemen.
Yeah, and there's been
Uh,
a ton
yeah,
of them that have been first round picks, second
yeah.
round picks.
What's the
Yeah.
corners that I wanted?
Look at the
Actually,
school they go to. They go
yeah,
to Alabama. Bama has none of that going on there, at least not under Saban.
yeah,
So both you, man, listen, both you guys are 100% correct. I think Brad Holmes just may be stuck in, not even going to say stuck because it's to his benefit because his organization is winning, but he's aligned with what his values are as a GM, and he's not going to really venture outside of that. I personally think he will one day, but it seems like he saves most of that flair for the draft. He has no issue with trading up for who he wants. But I just think it's going to come a point in time where, and I'm not saying I hope this happens, because as a Lions fan, of course, I don't. Teams suffer injuries to their wide receiver rooms. It happens all across the league. And that's an area where if you don't have the depth to overcome it, especially if you don't have like a big time elite quarterback, like you mentioned, needing that type of guy at quarterback to really win in the NFL today, then the question becomes becomes a trickle down effect to Jared Goff. So now, can he make it without St. Brown for 5 games or 6 games, or can he make it if Jameson is out for a month or whatever? And those are the things that we ask of the elite quarterbacks. You have to be able to sometimes keep that boat afloat. If a guy's out, if your number one guy's out for 7 games, can you get us to 5-2? Or do we fall? Or do we fall to 2-5 in those 7 games that star is out? So I just think this dude will really complete this team offensively. I love Laporta, love St. Brown. Love what I believe Jameson Williams is going to be this season. I think he's back to Alabama Jameson Williams, and people are going to see it. I just worry about the injuries. I understand you can't sanction injuries and when they're going to happen and who they're going to happen to, but they're going to happen. That's one thing I think all three of us can agree on, is that injuries are going to happen to all of these teams in the league. And you just want to make sure you got all of your grounds covered as much as possible, I think. And for me, George Pickens, I love Pickens. You look at the fact that he's durable at 6'3", 200 pounds. Typically, that type of height weight frame doesn't bode well for wide receivers in the league for a lot of reasons, body type wise, density wise, whatnot. You see, like the AJ Greens stay hurt. Those guys that are in that height weight range typically have a lot of injuries. This dude is durable as hell. He's played in all 17 games, both seasons in the league. He started 12 as a rookie, started 16 last year. And like you said, Lamar, the boy blocks.
He's a blocker.
He blocks.
And
Campbell will love him.
You know what's funny is, like, they are so, I think what they is, I think they just want to pay who they draft. Like, I think they're like a cult. Like, I'm seriously, I really, they just want to rock with what they rock with. Like, they bring in free agents, like they're turning wheels guys. Like, they're like puzzle pieces that just fit. Like Montgomery, I'm not even sure if Montgomery resigns here. I think Brad drafts another running back.
Yeah.
That was a
be
slap
loaded
in the
next year
face.
too.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a slap in the face, because the running back, you got a running back. You really wanted this running back to be running the ball, and he's not even that. He's good, but he's not even that like Montgomery good. You know what I mean? Like, this regime is. I wish they would pull the trigger on George Pickens, man. That'd be classic, man. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like, and the only thing, that's what I was getting at too. Like, I think the only thing that would force them to do that, if it's you know what I'm saying, it would have to be, somebody would have to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? For right now, for something like that to happen. I said, or it could be like down the road before the trade deadline type thing. You know what I'm saying? We'd have to have half the season play out, and then they could probably do it then. But earlier than that, it would have to be, somebody would have to go down for an extended period of time. You know what I mean? To keep, because then you would be forced to do it. You know what I'm saying? To keep the talent level, where it needs to be at that position. But I agree with y'all. I mean, just do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we going for it. You know what I mean? This is the time. We watched the last 2 games. The Lions are right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? They are right there. From what I saw, I mean, hey, it's
Green
one
Bay.
game, but I just think that we can compete. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not directing it towards any team or saying Lombardi Trophy. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying the team that we have, we can ball with anybody. That's all I'm saying. Put us across the line against any of them, any 31 other teams we can play. You know what I'm saying?
Them uniforms look so nice. The uniforms we got now, they look just so bright, and on the field they look really nice. And
North Carolina-ish.
The Blues is like,
I love that. I love the
The
Blues.
Blues is hard, bro. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the Blue.
You think they
I
wearing the
see.
black one Sunday night?
I hope, but they don't have no sauce. The Lions don't have no sauce to them, so I don't think so.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
J-Mo might be all in the marketing room.
Yeah.
Man, we need to wear these, baby.
Yeah, them Blues. I seen one at Dick's, man. I seen just perfect Jameer
Yeah.
Gibbs on the wall, and I was like, "That's hard, bro."
Yeah.
That man, that
It's like a modern throwback. It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Exactly. The blue, the whites is okay, but the blue is hard, man. They did a
Like
good job with that.
those jerseys remind me of like you know how San Francisco is wearing this like white numbers, red, like classic like 70s jersey, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
you could tell it's like current, but it's from the
Yeah.
70s. It's like a
yeah,
70s style.
yeah,
And that's what the Lions jerseys remind me of right now. It's just like
They're like a shade darker than the Charger.
exactly.
yeah.
It's
Yup,
That Charger blue.
yeah,
yeah.
and then
Hard.
during the game, during the preseason game they had at home, the blue like the last blue. It seemed like it got like lighter or dull. This
Yeah,
blue, as the game wears on, is getting more blue. Like it's like they're sweating blue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
it was looking good. Like it's like a real blue. Like it's like at worst navy. You know what I mean? Like
How
Mhm.
the how those old school, I don't know if they necessarily changed that burgundy,
I
but the
don't know.
Redskins uniforms used to be how they were a little brighter at the beginning of the game, but playing on that field and that grass
Yeah.
in Washington by the end of the third quarter, they were
Uh-huh.
dark and they were grungy looking and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. That's
And
nice.
how y'all? I mean, man, I'm so pumped for the game. That we just get into the rant just for a little bit. I mean, I know we talked about
This
George
man
Pickens.
stoked.
We can't just not talk about the game tomorrow,
Oh
man.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? I mean, just
Yeah.
I just
Scores.
believe something's going on here that's good. I really do believe that. I believe
Yeah.
on both sides of the ball. I mean, the only this is what I want to see. I want to see a defense that's just like now. Let's establish this thing, man. Let's Jack Campbell. Let's establish. Just we not giving up.
Jameson Williams.
We not giving up nothing today. Well, yeah, of course,
That's what I want to see. Like
yeah, of
put the
course.
NFL on notice. Oh, this dude about to be a serious part of the offense.
Mhm. Just
Let
like
them know
Xavier
early.
Worthy, yeah, just like Xavier Worthy did. Absolutely. I want to see the defense. Just I'm excited to see the core. I'm excited. Terrion Arnold, I think he's got all the mentality. I've liked everything I've seen from him. Just I'm gonna say everything. I know it's hard to gauge anything off practice or first time you putting your pads on, and I just think that he's got the mentality, okay, to be good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even know what that translates to, but I just know he has the mentality to just say, you know what, I'm good at what I do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm the best cover corner on this team. And I'm gonna lead these guys. And just I'm young. I'm no excuses. I expect to be good. So that's
That's
how I
kind of what I
feel.
want to see from all the young boys. So
Yeah,
I want
Mhm.
to see it from Jameer too. Like
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
said, I may remember going back to that draft before they picked him. Weeks, months before that draft, we
yeah,
talked about him and Bijan Robinson. I said this dude could be like the next Marshall Falk.
yeah,
Like I think offensively, a lot of us want to see Jameson Williams do it because like the dynamic of what he brings to the table of being like a bigger Tyreek Hill, even though physically he's not bigger, he's
Mhm.
taller than Tyreek Hill. But adding that dynamic to his offense is so intriguing.
yeah,
But even imagining adding a Marshall Falk to this offense,
yeah,
which is what I believe they envisioned when they saw him, which makes me feel pretty better about how I evaluate these players. Because I said the same thing about this dude midway through the Alabama season. Like, why is nobody talking about Jameer Gibbs? Like, he went to Alabama and was Bryce Young's only offense that entire season and was tremendous and returned kicks.
yeah. Smooth.
Yeah, and I liked him. I liked him at the draft because I was with Everything King and all those guys and stuff. I was like, if they found a way to get that dude, because I didn't have no draft acumen because I was coming off a deployment, so I didn't know who was coming out. I was doing my due diligence to learn the tight ends and the weaknesses of the team. But when that draft came out and I seen like the highlights of this dude like early in the process, I was like, I don't know if that dude can get to the second round. I was like, that dude is good. And when the pick came in, I was dancing. There's a clip of me dancing with Dosa Dion. Like, man, well, I wasn't dancing with him. Hold on.
Rephrase that, yeah.
Via satellite.
I'd be doing some Chris Bosh. I'd be doing some Chris Bosh
Say
stuff, man.
you and Dion had a hearty handshake, man. A celebratory handshake.
Oh man!
They say Jameer's tremendous, bro.
Yeah, man. He's
a tremendous talent. I think fans are gonna really see it because, you gotta realize too, there's everybody who's NFL fans aren't necessarily college football fans. So a lot of people don't follow college football like that. But Lions fans, y'all got y'all one. Mm-hmm. Lions fans, regardless of how some of y'all may feel about Jameson Williams, you got yourself one. You can doubt that young boy all you want. If he's healthy, he's ready to go. He's going to force you to support him. This whether you want to support him or not.
I was talking to a friend of mine this week, one of my coworkers, dear friend of mine, and I said, this is how far this team has come, talking about the Lions. Remember the uproar with how great Malcolm Rodriguez was when he came into the organization, and Aaron Glenn said, this is how you want to play linebacker, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. He's an afterthought, not an after. He's a piece. I mean, he did get an interception against 49ers in the championship game. I'm not saying it like he can't play, but what I'm saying is he's like, we've upgraded the talent so much, like he's like just a rotational guy at best. You know what I'm saying?
He's a fullback.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
He's a player.
So it shows.
That's all it says next to his name.
It just shows you. You know what I'm saying? Not to slight Malcolm Rodriguez at all. It's just they've upgraded this team so much. That's just one thing that sticks out. So yeah, fellas. The NFL is here. We're back. Spirit Detroit podcast. I enjoy every video you put out is tremendous. You know what I'm saying? Walt, your analysis of this team. I think, man, we got a whole season. Yeah. And I think we're gonna have some fun this year, man. When it comes down to it. I think it's, put it this way, the teams in this league y'all know it's ebbs and flows. Like the Eagles last year, and they were the team that kind of like plummeted, like
off a cliff.
Yeah, them and Buffalo, I kind of put them in the same category a little bit. But last night, listen, big win for the Eagles. I had the Eagles. I had them, but I wasn't confident that they would win the game. And they went out and won. So it may come down to Philly, Detroit, San Fran, just stuff like that.
Yeah, it might come down to them, but they can't beat us. Like Kellen Moore is not.
No,
he is
they
not
can't
the guy,
beat the Lions.
Bro.
Nope.
They just they look so bad. Like, and it's not necessarily a play call because I'm putting it together. I'm like, okay, like those Dallas teams with Kellen Moore had top offenses and didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And now you have, Jalen making the line calls and the checks at the line. That's cool. He should be able to make protection calls. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when y'all had last year was 95% shotgun, less than 17% motion plays. Y'all was just lining up and playing. And y'all can't run the ball.
Tush pushes.
Yeah, tush pushes. And y'all can't run the y'all got Saquon Barkley and y'all can't run the ball from inside the inside the center. Mm-hmm. Like, that's weird to me. That's like, what are y'all doing? Like, Kellen Moore got all these, Kellen Moore went away from the run game within the first quarter. Like, he just got in shotgun and said, okay, let's do what we like to do. I'm like, they so it's gonna be another team. Because I thought I was so high on the Eagles. I was like, Saquon and all these guys, they can kill us. No. Yeah. They play like they bums, like for real. Like, they got lucky yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. Well, y'all got anything else?
No, I was agreeing with Ashanti, but I
Oh
was
yeah,
still
about
like
the Eagles.
it sounded like I was disagreeing, but I was agreeing with him. I'm like, they gotta
Right.
tighten up.
Right. Exactly. No, what I'm saying is it's just the level of play. I just
Yeah.
think that we can play with anybody. Y'all, am I crazy by saying that?
No.
I just believe that this team that we have can play with anybody. That's a lot of teams can't say that because I know, listen, Baltimore is a good team. They are, but they're flawed, man. They're flawed too. And I just like
You gotta
Philly,
make them throws.
yeah, I don't, it's 1 week. I know it's one
Yeah.
week. I know that, and I think Walt, the show we're gonna do after the game. We talk about we're gonna do an overreaction show. You know what I'm saying? Because win or lose, I think that the Lions are still with the club, but I don't think they're gonna lose. But I'm just saying if they do, whatever fashion that they lose the game, I think people are gonna fall off a cliff if they lose. And Stafford throw for 450 yards and we gave up 38 points and lost 38-35. People are gonna go bananas, man. You know what I'm saying? Saying this team is not very good. So I just that just coming out of just those two games that I watch and the games that are moving forward, I just think, man, the Lions got a steamroll ahead, dude.
Yes,
I
sir.
think they're gonna plow the competition. That's what I believe. So we'll see.
Well, I hope so. I want to thank everybody for joining us live this Saturday morning. And it cooled down a little bit outside. High 63 today, kind of brisk out there. Make you want to throw on a Lions hoodie, Pistons hoodie, Red Wings hoodie, Tigers hoodie, whatever. It's almost hoodie weather. So, all right, man. Want to thank y'all for joining us today. Spirit of Detroit, man. I want you to remember one thing.
Come on time.
You are that too.
Yeah.
You are the best at what you do.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I really,
Yep. I
really love your
second that.
content.
Yep.
Love
I
your
second
content.
that,
I
man.
learned a lot from it too. And I got a
Amazing.
lot of respect for you. And I love having you on the show. You bring a lot of different content and
Yeah.
I
points of
love
views.
I love talking to y'all, man. Like I love talking to Ashanti to see his point of view, and I love talking to you to see your analysis on stuff. Like y'all opinion matters. Like I put y'all up there with Micro Mike and Everything King. Like those are people I look to. Their opinion matters. Their opinion of what I'm doing matters. You know what I'm saying? So will y'all say it's good? Okay, at least I got two real ones. You know, real Detroiters that really like it. You know what I'm doing. So I
For
appreciate
sure.
that. Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody else, enjoy your Saturday.